5 ways to be more vulnerable in dating. First, I'm going to read a quote by Brené Brown, my favorite. And she says, vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It's that unstable feeling we get when we step out of our comfort zone or do something that forces us to loosen control. In fact, vulnerability is the core, the heart, the center of meaningful human experiences. It's the first thing I look for in you and the last thing I'm willing to show you. In you, it's courage and daring. In me, it's weakness. Why do you want to be more vulnerable in dating? Well, from that quote we just read, if you are not vulnerable, you're not courageous. You're not, and courageous actually comes from the word courage, which comes from the word cur, C-O-U-R, means heart. If we're not being brave with our heart, we are not connecting deeply with anyone else. And often we're so afraid of showing the real us, but without doing that, we don't make the deep, authentic connections that we need to make in order to find the partner that we're seeking. So here are 5 ways that you can be more vulnerable and really make that amazing, deeper connection with the men you like. Number 1, accept that you're a woman of value. You must see yourself as a woman who is worthy of love and all that life has to offer. It's like you're trying to sell a package and you don't believe in it, nobody wants to buy it, right? A product or a package. So when you accept that you are of value, that you are worthy of love and you're worthy of the most amazing life, a man is going to see that. And it takes vulnerability to realize that you are worthy. For a lot of people, they really live in that diminished space. Number 2, stop worrying about what other people think. Get comfortable with discomfort, with taking a stand for what's important to you. Get comfortable with feeling exposed and uncertain, and stop worrying about other people. We spend so much of our life thinking that we have to be all zipped up and we have to go along with what other people say so we don't make waves. And we're afraid that we're going to hurt somebody if we stand up for what's important to us. So it's so important to get comfortable with this uncertainty, with being you. And I'll just share quickly from my own life. Like when I started doing this work as a dating coach, I had never been on a stage. I've shared this many times. I was petrified to speak in public. I was petrified to get in front of a camera. But I knew that I couldn't share my whole self and reach as many people as I needed to reach if I played small. And if I thought that I had to make everybody happy, I also would not have a career, because the work that I do doesn't appeal to everybody, and I'm okay with that. In fact, I like that. I want that. I don't want everybody to like me, because then I will be neutral. I won't have a stand on anything. So that's really important. So the step 1 of knowing you're a woman of value leads to step 2, because if you know yourself and you love yourself, then you can take a stand for what's important to you. Number 3, stop trying to be perfect. Anybody here, raise your hand if you have ever tried to be perfect. I have to tell you that I was the queen of wanting to be perfect, which is exactly why I didn't get on a stage. It's exactly why I didn't write. I was afraid that if it wasn't perfect, then nobody would accept it. It held me back in my art career. I was afraid to be judged for my art when I was doing art for a living. So our need to be perfect has us come to dates in a way that is not real. We share only the all zipped up part of ourselves, the part that we've overcome and we're doing so well now. And it's not that you want to share your wounds, you don't want to do that right away, but don't be afraid to share some of the more difficult things, some of the things that you've that you've worked really hard at, but also that you're still struggling. You know, that you want to get even better as a parent, for example, or that you're learning a foreign language that you've never learned before and you look like a complete fool in class, but you're willing to take that risk because you want to grow as a person. That's the imperfections that we share. Not like, oh, I came out of the womb speaking perfect French, English, Spanish, and German. No, you're willing to look like the person in class who knows the least amount of Spanish because you want to grow and you want to maybe take a trip to Spain and be able to at least speak a little bit. So our imperfections are what make us human, and they make us relatable. You know, how many people can you relate to when they're just looking like they have it all together all the time? That's just not human. Number 4 is share your feelings with people that you trust. Now, this is really important. This trust piece, because I hear a lot from women like you. How do you build trust again? How do you ever open your heart up again? And the truth is, if you're following step 1, 2, and 3, like really love yourself and know yourself well, start taking a stand for things. Stop trying to be a people pleaser and worrying about what other people think, and stop trying to be perfect. You're going to start seeing who you can trust and who you can't trust. You don't blanketly trust every single person you meet, but you also don't immediately discount every person you meet. You know what to look for in a person to know whether you're going to trust them or not. So you're going to go seeking out the right people. And a lot of times you have to get rid of friends who are the wrong people in the process. And with those people, you share yourself vulnerably. You share how you really feel, even when it's really hard. You share how you feel with your family, with your friends, and eventually with the person that you love. And number 5, and this is probably the hardest for pretty much every woman I know, ask for help. Asking for help can be one of the most vulnerable things that we do. And if we don't ask for help, we look like, again, we're perfect, we don't need anything, and nobody knows how they can contribute to our lives. So if you're a giver and you love to help others, make sure that you do the same thing back to whoever you've given to and ask for their help. Because it's not fair for you to be the giver and never be the taker. You never give somebody the opportunity to give to you. And I have to say that with men, this is particularly important. They find their worth in the giving. And if you say, I'm good, I don't need it, oh, you don't have to carry that, oh no, I got this, I'll pay for that, you're not giving a man an opportunity to show up and be the man that you are looking for. So those are my 5 tips on how to be more vulnerable in dating. And if you follow these 5 tips, you will start making much more authentic, deeper, more vulnerable connections so you can go on your first date.